Yes, Your Honor.
Failure to appear result in additional warrant and probably a request for a bond or a hold. You're not to return to that incident location. You're not to leave the state of Arizona. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Loya.
Good evening, Your Honor. This is the Spanish interpreter. According to the list, there is no Spanish-speaking defendants requiring the interpreter. May the court confirm?
I will do that. Dale, do we have any Spanish speakers that you're aware of?
No, Your Honor.
All right, as long as we can get a hold of you, if we need you, you're free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
Dennis Paxton. Dennis Paxton.
Mr. Paxton. I've got a number of things here for you. I've got new charges, but I've also got 3 old files where it appears that you just haven't made it to court. What can we do to be sure you show up in court?
I was asking if you can keep me because I don't want to get out. I don't want to. If I get out, I'm gonna mess up. And I don't want to get out because if you let me go, I'm trying to go back to fentanyl, and I don't want to do that. You know, I'd rather be in here and rather get my help. You know, and get off of it right now than to be out there.
All right, well, on this matter, I'll set you a court date for tomorrow at 1 o'clock and appoint Brett Cicero to represent you. And we'll say a bond of $250. You don't go back to that store. No alcohol or illegal drugs, and I'm noting substance abuse treatment, noting that you indicate that you've got a need and desire for that. So they'll know that that's what you want to do.
Okay.
Okay, then I've got charges out of Tucson City Court. Possession of paraphernalia on January the 18th of last year, failing to appear on January the 29th. Looks like you were also supposed to be in court in September.
Yeah, I was smoking fentanyl.
Yeah. I'll appoint the city public defender's office to represent you. On this matter. Set a court date of January 22nd at 1:45. There's 2 other files I'll go through with you too, but they'll all be set together. Second one is also for possession of paraphernalia and failing to appear. And then the third one is from December for criminal trespass and failing to appear. Go back to 2785 South Wilmot. No alcohol or illegal drugs, substance use assessment and treatment, noting that you're indicating the need and the desire to do that. And again, bond of $250. When you talk to your attorney, let them know that you want to get into treatment.
Okay,
And with any luck, they can get a treatment plan set up before your court date and make arrangements for you to transfer straight to treatment from the jail.
okay.
Communicate that to your attorney. That's going to be very important. Thank you, Mr. Paxson.
How's that? Hello.
Yeah, just a minute. Need to communicate to defense counsel on someone that I just saw. Good evening. I've paid you, sir.
Mr. John Cruz.
Mr. Cruz, I've got current charges charging at shoplifting, criminal trespass, and failing to comply with court order. Alleged occurred on January the 9th. At a Safeway store, St. Mary's. Charges for possession of paraphernalia from earlier today. Charges from January the 5th. For criminal trespass and failing to comply with the court order at that same Safeway on St. Mary's. Charges from November the 22nd. Criminal trespass, disorderly conduct, threats and intimidation, possession of paraphernalia and resisting arrest at that same location. Along with the failure to appear in December. And charges for possession of paraphernalia on October the 18th, along with failures to appear. We'll appoint City Public Defender's Office to represent you on these charges. $250. No alcohol or illegal drugs. You don't put any Safeway stores. If you post the bond, your court date's February the 2nd at 9 a.m. You haven't posted it, you'll be seen on the 20th, which is next week, Tuesday, at about 1:45. Thank you, Mr. Cruz.
Ace.
Good evening, I'm Ted Shade, and you, sir.
Yeah, let's go.
Yes, got citation here charging you with possession of paraphernalia, alleged occurred earlier today. I also have charges for criminal trespass and possession of paraphernalia on November 14th and failing to appear on November the 26th. Criminal trespass on November the 17th, failing to appear. Criminal trespass on November 22nd. Along with failure to appear. We'll appoint City Public Defender's Office to represent you on these charges. Bond will be $250. If you post the bond, your court date is going to be February the 12th. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Tucson City Court. If you haven't posted, excuse me, taking that back. Because you have an adult probation hold, you'll be released on these charges, but the Public Defender's Office is appointed, City Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. You're not to go back to 98 East River, 15 East Fort Lowell, 3202 North First, or 3202 North Oracle. No alcohol or illegal drugs. You're out of custody on February 13th. You need to appear. If you're still in custody, your attorney will come to the prosecutor's office in the court and move the matter forward from there. It'll depend on the status of your adult probation. Thank you, Mr. Husko. Good evening, I'm Judge Shayad, and you are?
Catalina Martinez.
Ms. Martinez. Citation here charging you with domestic violence assault, domestic violence disorderly conduct, and three counts, and 1 count of domestic violence criminal damage. Your next court date's going to be on February the 17th at 1:30 in the afternoon in the Tucson City Court. Do you understand that you need to be present at that time?
Yes, ma'am.
No acts of domestic violence. Thank you, Ms. Martinez. Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you are
Annette Nannini.
Ms. Denny. I've got a current citation charging you with criminal trespass, 4861 East Grant, early this morning.
Yes, Your Honor.
You have charges here from also criminal trespass at 5000 East Grant.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm not familiar with that, but
Resisting arrest and being a public nuisance also this morning. And I have some old charges. Criminal trespass from 2019 at 101 North Jessica. Shoplifting, CVS 8625 East Speedway. (2002) criminal damage on East Pima.
I'm not familiar with any of those. Your Honor, but Liz Claiborne is my attorney.
Who is?
Liz Claiborne.
Not on these matters. Criminal trespass from May of this past year at 1050 South Park. Along with failures to appear. Criminal trespass at 945 East 22nd Street. Along with failing to appear. Criminal trespass from November the 11th at 4811 East Grant. Again, along with failure to appear. And criminal trespass November the 18th from 4811 East Grant.
I would like for my attorney, Liz Claiborne, to represent me. So,
Well, I'll appoint the City Public Defender's Office to represent you on this matter. I don't know what office Ms. Claiborne is with. I don't believe she's with the City Public Defender's Office, though.
no, she is not.
Actually, Ms. Claiborne cannot represent you.
Okay.
She's been suspended by the State Bar. All right, your bond is going to be $250. Your next court date is January 22nd at 1:45.
Okay,
You're in custody, you'll be seen on video unless your attorneys move to continue it. If you're out of custody, you need to appear. Again, you don't go back to any of these incident locations. You don't go back to 4861 East Grant, 4811 East Grant, that whole Crossroads Shopping Center. Do you understand that?
I do understand. Yes, Robin.
5,000 East Grant, 8705 East Speedway, or 1050 South Park, or 945 East 22nd Street.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Nanini.
Yes.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you are,
Victoria,
in your last name?
Sanchez Sanchez.
Okay, Ms. Sanchez. Current citation is charging you with assault, criminal trespass, disorderly conduct, and obstruction. Alleged
For what?
offense this morning. Refusing to provide your true name. I also have charges that go back to 2003. For criminal trespass at 1601 West St. Mary's, along with failures to appear in court. And charges from January 26th of last year for false reporting to law enforcement. And again, failing to appear in court. What can we do to be sure that you appear in court next time? Jail, you muted her and I can't hear her if she's muted. No, no, Jail, I need to hear from her.
Okay.
Calm down. and stop
I'm not
talking.
doing anything.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. You need to move out of 102 West Sorrel Street.
All right, Ms. Sanchez, what can I do
What?
to be sure you're going to show up in court next time? Because you haven't been showing up in court.
I'll be there. When is it? When is it?
Well, it would be February the 18th at 9:30 in the morning if you're going to be cooperative and show up in court.
All right, yes.
Then you're not going to go back to within a block of 109 East Grant, and you're not going to go back to 1601 West St. Mary's. Do you understand that?
Uh-huh. Isn't 1610 West St. Mary's? That's the hospital? I haven't been there.
Well, this is a while ago.
How can you bring it up about 20, 30 years ago? Because I used to work there. I worked there with Levita.
Well, this goes back a little over 2 years ago.
Okay. I guess.
Apparently you were trespassed from the property on the 1st of December 2 years ago, and then you came back.
I used to work with this nice Afro-American black lady. Her name is Levita. Lavita Stathis. He's a nurse. She's probably not a nurse then.
All right, well, you don't go back to St. Mary's Hospital except for emergency treatment. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Right? February the 18th, 9:30 in the morning, Tucson City Court.
All right.
That's all.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you are?
Carly Stapleton?
Ms. Stapleton. I've got a number of things here for you. I have charges from January 27th, 5 years ago for criminal trespass, 302 West Flores, along with multiple failures to appear. I also have charges from January 28th, 5 years ago, for criminal trespass at 303 West Flores. Failures to appear in court. Charges of possession of paraphernalia and delinquency of a minor, June 22nd of 2021. Multiple failures to appear. And charges of resisting arrest on July 31st of 2024, along with failures to appear. Because you have an adult probation hold, we will release you on these charges. Appoint the city public defender's office to represent you on these charges. Your next court date is going to be February the 13th at 9 a.m. in the Tucson City Court. If you're out of custody, you need to appear. You're not to go back to 302 or 303 West Flores. No alcohol or illegal drugs. If you're still in custody, your attorneys will handle the matter, communicate with you about the status.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And has adult probation placed a hold at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you are?
Dalila Baron.
Ms. Baron, interim complaint charging you with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. We'll appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges. And did either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions?
Your Honor, the state would just note the content of what she's on felony probation for. I know it's not an interim complaint. It will likely come later, but it is worth noting that she appears to also be a prohibited possessor given that she's actively currently serving a term of felony probation, which would also be another basis for that. So given what she's on probation for, the high bond is appropriate.
And anything further from defense?
Yes, Your Honor. I am asking for release to pretrial services for Ms. Baron. I'll note that she has no recent failures to appear. She's lived here in Tucson essentially her whole life. She does have verified housing away from the incident location with her daughter. She is also employed as a caregiver. This is sometimes full-time employment, sometimes part-time employment. She has been a reliable employee, and she does have an 11-year-old child who she is the primary caregiver for. She does have other family here in Tucson as well, Your Honor.
Preliminary hearing date is January 22nd. I'll set bond at $50,000. You'll be in a supervised pretrial services if you post the bond. No alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons. No contact with the alleged victims or the family of the alleged victims. You're not to go to the incident location. That's an entire complex, except with law enforcement to pick up your belongings. And I'd suggest you not discuss this matter with anyone except your attorney. When I say anyone, that includes your co-defendant. You're not to leave the state of Arizona. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Thank you, Ms. Baran. Evening, I'm going to say that you, sir, are Mr. Baran, in complaint charging with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, aggravated assault temporary but painful injury, and discharging a firearm in city limits. Alleged to have occurred earlier today. We'll appoint legal defender's office to represent you on these charges. Set a preliminary hearing date for January 22nd at 1:30. And did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions?
Your Honor, I would just point out that he shot the victim 3 times when the victim's back was turned, and medical staff, at least per the interim, indicated there's a 50-50 chance that he would survive the injuries that were caused by this defendant.
I've read the reports. Thank you. Anything further from defense?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm asking for a more nominal bond for Mr. Baron. I'll note that he is a 1 and a 1 on the NCA FTA scale. He has no criminal history whatsoever, and he is entitled to a presumption of innocence until proven guilty. At this time, these are just allegations against him.
I'll set the bond at $250,000. No firearms or weapons. No contact with the victims, the family of the victims. You don't go back to the incident location. That's the entire complex, except with law enforcement to obtain your belongings. You don't leave the state of Arizona. And I'd suggest you not discuss this matter with anyone except your attorney, and then only when there were no other people present. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Thank you, Mr. Bono.
Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you are,
Jose Hector Silva, good evening, Judge.
Mr. Silva. Interim complaint charging you with manslaughter, leaving scene of a collision involving death alleged occurred on the 29th of June. Mr. Williams has filed a notice of appearance. And did either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions?
Your Honor, the state would just note his on release status at the time of the offense, as well as law enforcement's input about unauthorized trips of leaving the country to Mexico while on that federal release. I know that he does have the federal detainer, but nonetheless, the state would be recommending the high bond of $500,000.
Mr. Williams. You're mute. I can't hear you when you're muted.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me, Your Honor?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And I'm sorry about that. Your Honor, I've known Mr. Silva for over 20 years. He's a U.S. citizen, and I'm going to point out all the things that I think are in his favor. He's a U.S. citizen. He owns a home in Santa Cruz County, a very nice home. He has a wife. He is working. He runs his own plumbing business. I've represented him in some cases, Your Honor, and I got to say that he's always respectful, polite, courteous. Your Honor, in this case, there is a presumption of innocence, which I think applies. When you look at the complaint in this case, they say they believe that this lady fell off the back of a motorcycle. They believe that, or they think that. So I say that to say this, that the proof is not evident, nor is the presumption great that Mr. Silva did anything wrong. Your Honor, he voluntarily turned himself in today, Your Honor, when we spoke to a Sergeant Allen from DPS who said that he wanted to take Mr. Silva into custody. And so on his own volition, he turned himself in, which I think speaks volumes about Mr. Silva's character. When he was asked to turn himself in, he did that. And so he's cooperating in the sense that he's before you now. He understood before he met with DPS Sergeant Allen that Mr. Allen was going to arrest him. He knew that, and he went ahead and turned himself in anyways. So, Your Honor, I would respectfully request that you don't do what the state said. In fact, I think a more appropriate decision would be pretrial services found that his sister was an appropriate third-party custodian. And I think there's a combination of conditions that you could impose that would both protect the community and at the same time assure that Mr. Silva would come back to court. We would recommend a $25,000 bond and third-party release to pretrial services and or the custody of his sister. Your Honor, Mr. Silva understands that you may impose certain conditions of his release, and he represents that he will comply with your release orders. If you tell him curfew or don't drink, don't whatever, he'll do what you say. I'm representing him in the other case that the state pointed out, and the state says that there were unauthorized trips to, I think they said to Mexico or something like that. I have obtained permission for Mr. Silva to go to Mexico in that case. So I'm not quite sure what the state is referring to about unauthorized trips. So I challenge them to be more specific about that because in that federal case where I'm representing him, we got permission for him to go to Mexico. So, Your Honor, I think that when you add up all the things that are in Mr. Silva's favor, they certainly would weigh in favor of the recommendation that we're asking for. Thank you.
Anything further, Mr. Goodman?
Your Honor, he's on felony release. This was committed. He fled the scene. He's now only turning himself in several months later. Release is not appropriate. A low bond's not appropriate. A high bond is appropriate in lieu of holding him without bond, given his on release status.
We'll note that the state could have requested a no bond hold. They chose not to. So bond in this matter is set at $350,000, cash or secured. Pretrial services, supervision. If the bond is posted, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no driving without a valid license, no contact with the family of the alleged victim. And do not leave the state of Arizona. All right. Thank you, Mr. Silva.
I understand. Thank you,
And Your
Judge.
Honor, Your Honor, if I may, I think for the preliminary hearing, because he's in custody, we requested in my notice of appearance that the preliminary hearing be held within 10 days.
And I set it for January 22nd.
Okay, I didn't hear that, Your Honor. Sorry. Thank you. May I be excused, Your Honor?
You may.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good to see you. Good night.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
Mark Walcott.
Mr. Cotton, interim complaint here charging you with domestic violence, criminal damage, and aggravated domestic violence alleged to have occurred on the 20th of September. Will appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and at either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions.
I would just note, Your Honor, he committed this while he was on the felony DV probation. I believe he has a hold for.
He does.
Your Honor, I am asking for a more nominal bond for Mr. Cotton. I'll note that he is a lifelong resident of Tucson. He does have full-time employment. He has housing that is separate from the victim, that is confirmed, and he is a primary caregiver for a young daughter. And he does have significant family here. He attends church here. He does have strong community ties, Your Honor, such that he is motivated to appear for his court hearings. For those reasons, Your Honor, I would ask for a more nominal bond in this case.
Preliminary hearing date's January 22nd at 1:30. Bond is $10,000. Pretrial services, the bond is posted, but you've got an adult probation hold, so you're not going to get out unless until such time as that is lifted. You need to comply with probation and previous conditions of release. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You're also not to leave the state of Arizona. Possess any alcohol or illegal drugs. And I suggest you not discuss this matter with anyone except your attorney. You also have misdemeanor charges here. Resisting arrest. We'll appoint City Public Defender's Office to represent you on this matter because of the other holds. Set a review hearing for February the 12th at 9 o'clock in the morning. If you're still in custody, the representative from the City Public Defender's Office will address the matter with the court, the prosecutors, and inform you of the status. If you're out of custody, you need to appear. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Cotton.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Judge Shea. You are
Vincent Sherrod.
did counsel waive the way of reading.
Yes, Your Honor.
I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you on these charges. Set an arraignment date for January the 20th at 1:30. And did either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions?
Your Honor, I would just note he doesn't have a known residence. Supposedly he's here in the Tucson area, but what's not in the report is this defendant had to be extradited from Ohio. For this case, the state believes he's a flight risk. So the state would ask the court to affirm the grand jury warrant that was issued.
Anything further from defense?
Your Honor, I am asking for a more nominal bond for Mr. Schrock. I'll note that this was a direct indictment, so he's never been arrested on this matter before. He has no criminal history whatsoever, including no felonies, no misdemeanors, no failures to appear, and he is a military veteran, Your Honor. For those reasons, I am asking for a more nominal bond in this case.
Bond will be $20,000. No alcohol and drugs, no firearms or weapons, no acts of domestic violence, no contact with the other victims. You're not to go into the victim's residence or workplace. No internet usage. Behavioral health and substance abuse assessment and treatment to the extent it's available while in custody or under the direction of pretrial services if out of custody. You're not to leave the state of Arizona. Other than in the course of treatment and evaluation, I'd suggest you not discuss these matters with anyone except your attorney. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Council, it is our understanding that there is another interim complaint pending for Ms. Sturgis.
Yes, I'll.
We can see her tonight on these. And she can be seen on that in the morning, or we can continue these over so that they all get heard together.
Speak with Ms. Sturgis, Your Honor. Thank you.
So Judge, if I'm hearing you correctly, we have the Justice Court warrant, 2 interims, and then there's another one now?
That's our understanding. We haven't seen it, but according to the jail, there's another one coming through.
Your Honor, Ms. Sturgis would like to wait until tomorrow. She'll waive her right to have her initial appearance on these 3 matters within 24 hours so that all 4 matters can be heard at one time.
I think that makes sense. I still have to do the paperwork, so. All right, so we'll set this for tomorrow morning. All right. Okay. That'll be on the calendar for tomorrow morning.
Is Ms. Sturgis excused, Your Honor?
Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
No,
Well, so. This.
Judge, I believe this last one's a misdemeanor. May the state be excused?
It is, you may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good night.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shea. Yeah, and you're free to go, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good night.
No, the G. Yeah, no, they're on. Okay. All right. Good evening, I'm Judge Shea, and you, sir, are.
Mr. Carmichael, Eric Carmichael. ERICCARMICHAEL.
Give me just a moment, Mr. Carmichael. Good evening, I'm Judge Shea, and you are.
Eric Carmichael. Is she talking to me? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, she just went through your fields. Oh, okay.
All right, I have a citation here charging you with threats and intimidation alleged to have occurred earlier today.
Love that charge.
I'm going to appoint Steve McClure to represent you on this matter since this is your third charge this month. Hold you on a $500 bond. Next court date's January 20th at 9 a.m. If you post the bond, you need to appear. You have no contact with Daniel Odom. You don't go to his residence or workplace. Do you understand that?
Okay, yeah. Oh.
You, all right. Thank you, Mr. Carmichael.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.